my beautiful souls. Hello. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the collective. This is for January 8th through 14th. This is the weekly. What else? What do I have to say to you guys? Happy New Year. I feel like I could still say that. Check out the, I got some hair here. Check out the monthly for January. It's up on the channel already, and as well as the weekly. I'm sorry, yes, the weeklies, of course, but the yearly as well is there. It's pretty long, but hopefully it can give you guys some insight on how the year is going to go. And these, of course, are week by week, so we'll jump into it as long as I get my little speech out. Guys, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please like this video, and please share it with anybody that you think would benefit from hearing this reading and working with the energies of the week. So please share. And then if it resonates with you, or any comments, questions, concerns, any feedback at all as I continue to transfer over to YouTube and build this channel, love the feedback. All I ask is you just be kind, but I am super open. So all right, guys, let's begin. Same 4 decks, but I mixed up the order. They're obviously shuffled. Let's jump into it, guys. What do we need this week? Summer, bask in joy and light. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. What do we need? We need joy, we need light. So definitely, I'm already liking this already. Make sure to have fun this week. Make sure to, don't forget about the little things. Every time I hear joy, it's just, guys, it doesn't have to be that, you know, you have the best week ever. You know, that's usually, you know, life is in shades of gray. It's not exactly black and white. So it's not like a bad week versus a good week. Sometimes, you know, we have really amazing weeks where it's like, you know, we keep hitting things out of the park. And, you know, I make that kind of clear when we do the readings, and I say it looks fantastic. But usually there's some things in there to be mindful of. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. This is just saying, what about the little things? Okay, so definitely enjoy the little things that bring you bliss, little things that bring you joy. Okay, so do those little things. For me, sometimes it's just a cup of coffee on the front porch, or walking down the streets of New York, whatever it actually is. Find little moments of joy, okay, because we really need it. Okay. Okay, action needed. We have judge in the light, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Okay, so fair distribution of power is definitely coming through. That's what's kind of highlighting for me, jumping out. So it definitely does just feel like we are seeing things accurately, usually judgment cards are very similar to balance cards, where we're balancing things out, we're making sure things are fair, we're making sure things are just. I don't know, there's not really too much I can kind of say about that without going off on another tangent, but basically it being under the action needed card makes me think that we really just need to, it's not necessarily like balancing things in life, it's just making sure that things are fair, right? You know, you think of a judge, and you know, they give a sentencing that, you know, you that would be fair, you know, from the best of their ability, basically. So do the best that you can, but you know, and from your, you know, everybody has kind of different, you know, viewpoints on things and opinions, and you know, moral standpoints and things like that. But so this is just basically saying, like, make sure that things do feel fair, giving people the benefit of the doubt, maybe not giving people the benefit of the doubt, kind of weighing that out, being a good judge this week. It's kind of like mediator, you know, it's like kind of like the mediator archetype, but I think you guys know what I mean by that, but it bleeds into all different areas of life. So this could be relationships, this could be work, this could be in your personal life, you know, looking at yourself, like, are you being fair to yourself? Are you being too hard on yourself, for example, things like that. So yeah, just use that judge archetype and really take action on it, since it's under action needed. Okay. All right, let's see what the issue is this week. Exchanging gifts. All right, so an interesting kind of coming after the judge, which I said sometimes is very similar to the balance, and exchanging gifts is kind of about that. It's about an even exchange of give and take. And so, oh my God, guys, do I have to sneeze? I think I might have to sneeze. Excuse me 1 second. No, I don't. Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys. Sorry, part of my interruption there. But okay, if it happens again, my apologies up front. But okay, so this is about even give and take, about even giving and receiving. So the fact that it's under issue is that, okay, this is kind of telling me, again, not so much, yes, we can use the word balance, but we're just making sure things are fair. The scales of justice are balanced. So guys, I can't even think of an example right now. And again, like I said, because it's so broad, and also this is for the collective, right? So we're all kind of going through different things, but similar themes, which is why I do pick for the collective. Where usually if one person is going through something, there, it's we're, because of law of oneness, we are all connected. So it's usually very similar. So it definitely does feel like there's this, the scales of justice or fairness really need to be balanced. But again, because it's so many different people, we might be going through same themes, but in different kind of areas of our life. So I can't even think of an example like off the bat, but just think about it in the way of like really finding fairness and making sure things are even, especially with give or take. And this could be, the scales of justice really tipping in one way over the other, right? And so if you are doing a lot of giving, maybe it's time for more receiving and that kind of thing. And it's coming up because I feel like it'll naturally happen. And these are, like I said, I read like the energies of the week, but keep this in mind, keep it at top of mind, just be mindful of it. And the fact that it's under issue is that it's going to be an issue. So it definitely needs to happen with action needed. So, but making it happen does seem like it's going to be an issue. Let's pick challenge since it's kind of similar. We have yoga. Yoga to me is moving your body, connecting. Speaking of being mindful. So we might actually have an issue just, paying attention to the things that are unbalanced, paying attention to the things that are not necessarily unfair, but not just, we'll say. So I definitely feel like that yoga card is about not being present, not necessarily being aware, not being mindful, and we have issues with that. So the fact that it's kind of coming up twice here, and then this card is saying like, no, you actually have a hard time seeing it. It's kind of a pink flag, we'll say. Funny, this card is pink, a little pink here, but it's kind of a pink flag, which is not exactly red, but basically it's saying like, you have issues with this, but you're not paying attention to these issues. So that's what it's kind of saying with the challenge, okay? All right, let's move on, guys, with change. We have the traveler move in a new direction. Okay, so we are moving in a new direction because it's under change. So we don't have an issue with that. I consider these two, issues, challenges. This is actually what's going to change. So we are moving in a new direction with something. So if you feel like you're pivoting, makes sense, guys, because we have new energy for the new year. We're in a new calendar year for numerology. We're in an 8. I've said it so many times, but it's exciting. So what's a better time than the second week of this brand new year, of this brand new month, to move in a different direction? And it feels lucrative, it feels positive, and it feels like it's more aligned. So definitely move in that new direction. I will say it could be all areas of life, but I'm definitely feeling it is probably more connected to work. We will see what comes up with money, finances, and career, but I think a lot of us are moving directions with work, whether that's going in a different direction, doing something new, getting a different role, wanting to get another role, moving industries, etc., okay? So you're consciously choosing to move in a different direction. Okay, we have destroyer, but we have it in shadow. Intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potentials. Okay, this is, we got some shadow stuff kind of coming up here under focus. So to me, this means, and it feels unintentional, okay? So it feels like we may be, like the word envy is coming up. So to me, that means, like we really need to get that in check. So usually like the focus and reflect comes up with some good like journal prompts for us, or things to really reflect on essentially. And so this is really saying, focus on where you're envious, because you might be like unintentionally crushing other people's dreams because you might like, it's almost like I'm feeling like this pessimistic type attitude that's kind of coming up here that we're going to kind of be experiencing this week. Not so much jealousy, maybe a little bit of jealousy, but again, that word envious definitely, you know, highlights is highlighted. And it's not, I have to say, like, it doesn't feel intentional. It just feels like we might be maybe making comments that we don't really understand are harmful to other people, that maybe be crushing their dreams. It's kind of specific, but that's what I'm getting here. So the focus here is to really start to be mindful. But again, that challenge, that yoga, which to me, it's hard being present this week. It's hard being mindful. It's hard being aware. We're going to have trouble in this area. So that doesn't surprise me there. But we really need to focus on really trying to be aware of these behaviors, of our envious behaviors, of our pessimistic behaviors, of, you know, how might we be, like, it's almost like we have like this realist kind of behavior. And there's nothing wrong with being a realist, but like it does kind of, I want to say like kind of like bothers people this week, or it's just it's uncalled for, or it's not necessary. So just like watch out for that. And the focus is really just try to be as mindful as possible about these types of energies that are kind of coming up, especially when it comes to like other people and other people's ideas and dreams and that kind of thing. So let's just put it this way. We're not super open this week when it comes to like other people coming to us. Very curious to see what the friends, what comes up in the friends here. Guys, even, you know, we can't be perfect all the time. So just be mindful of that. And again, it does feel unintentional, but it's time to focus, you know, on that type of behavior and maybe correcting it or moving through it. What do we need to reflect on besides what I just said? We have a leg up. This is advantageous behavior, advantageous energy. We have actually have not had this in a while, which is good, because this is kind of saying like reflecting on, it's good that we're seeing it now, because this is kind of reflecting on taking advantage of what is presented to us. So this is kind of about thinking about really I kind of already said it, like what can we take advantage of, not in a bad way, okay, not in like the shadow type of way where it's like we're taking advantage of other people, but there are certain things. Honestly, like the best way I can kind of say this too is like privilege. Like privilege is all over, guys, and there's certain things that we're accustomed to or have access to that maybe other people do not have access to. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that energy. So reflecting on how we can capitalize on that to really move ahead. But again, it's not bad or negative or you know, taking advantage of somebody. That's not what it is. It's actually really to help us accelerate forward. And as you guys remember, I don't remember if it's the monthly or the weekly or maybe the yearly I set it in, but we're really starting to accelerate. Okay, so we have that acceleration energy coming through, and we have the advantageous energy coming through, and saying in order to accelerate going forward, we do have some energies that, or you know, particular things that we could take advantage of that will really help us move forward in a smoother and you know, giving us a leg up way. So making things less hard for us. So take advantage of that. Reflect on what resources that you have that are available to you that may not be available to other people. Okay, so that's what that's about. Responsibilities. We have trust. Okay, so this is about your responsibilities this week is really to trust in something bigger than you, trust in yourself, trust that everything is working itself out. This is always linked to surrender, letting go, like that kind of thing. So it's really important for us to concentrate on that, focus on that, and make it a priority, essentially, right? There's not too much I can say about that, because it definitely does feel like, to me, anytime I get a card like that, it's kind of knocking anxiety kind of out of the way, meaning like when this comes up, it's because we have so much anxiety about the future, about what's going to happen. How do we control this? You know, like that kind of thing. And so the opposite of like controlling energy is just trusting that everything is going to work out. It's more flow, right? So it's more surrender. Okay, so that's what this is about, and this is just saying to me why it's coming up is we might be getting ourselves really really anxious for, I don't want to say no reason, but if we can relieve ourselves of that suffering, because if anybody out there has ever experienced anxiety, which I believe is 100 out of 100 people, 100% of us at some point in our lives have felt anxiety, you know that you would put into a category of suffering. So this is just to help to alleviate suffering. And so trust, okay? Money, finances, and career. Let's see what's going on here. Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. Okay, so this is actually saying take extra time to reflect. Now, I will pull it back over here and say, okay, well, what's under reflect? A leg up. What can we take advantage of? What do we have available to us? What resources do we have available to us that we can take advantage of? So this might have to do with career, okay? This might have to do with career, money, finances, that kind of thing. Because I felt career, money, finances coming through the change, through the traveler, so I'm looking at these 3 cards here having to do with money, finances, and career. This might mean that there might be an opportunity available to you, a resource available to you to go in a different direction, okay? So this might be pointing to like a somebody offering you a job or offering you a different path or offering you something that will put you on the different path, right? And so it's an advantage because you know somebody that's offering it to you, or you have the in, or something like you have that advantage, and it's allowing you to kind of go into that different path and that new direction more easily, okay, because it's available to you. I hope that makes sense for you. But the fact that it's kind of saying like it's time to kind of reflect, and again, double reflect here. It's like to me, it's just saying like look at the reflect slot here and just be reminded again that you do have resources that you need to tap into. What's the surprise? Let's see. Liberator. Okay, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. Okay. Liberator is always about freeing yourself and others. And so the surprise here may feel like you don't feel free. So this is interesting and a little disappointing because I am somebody, and I know you guys are the same. Like I said, I read for the collective. I think a lot of the same people, a lot of people that follow me are more sensitive, empaths, very spiritual people, obviously, if you're here. So you are constantly seeking freedom, and that's usually a value of those that seek me out, right? And so the fact that we don't feel free in some way, shape, or form makes me feel like we feel trapped in some way, where we feel controlled in some way. And that makes me kind of sad. But I'm not getting a specific area. I will say it might have something to do with this feelings of not feeling just, like we might be feeling like we're trapped somewhere and it's not fair, for example. So that could be connected to these cards up here. Now I'm starting to understand why we have that need right off the bat, where it's like find the little joys in this week, because it's a little tough this week. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's a little tough trying to rebalance the energies, trying to find fairness, really trying to cultivate more awareness around some of our negative behaviors, and then really, again, trying to reflect and figure out the new direction, the new path, and see where we can take advantage of things. I know I'm like already recapping and we still have 5 more cards to go, but I just do not, it's under surprise. So it is surprising is that we don't feel free, especially like with this new year. And I was just talking about new energy and things are changing, and which they are, we see the proof right here, but it definitely does feel like in some areas of our life, we just don't feel free. We don't feel like we've broken through, and it feels unjust, and it feels, doesn't feel so great. So I definitely do feel those types of emotions, that type of, feeling constricted is definitely going to come through this week and be a little bit disruptive is a good way to say it. I will go back to this destroyer here too and say that might be also why we have an underlying pessimistic type attitude kind of going on, and so like we're not like usually I get like, you guys out there are pretty, pretty optimistic people in general, especially lately. So this pessimistic energy is very interesting, but I could see why it's happening, because we really, we feel really stifled in life right now. So, okay, so what do we got for friends? Okay, we have peace. Okay, so everything seems pretty peaceful, which is great. So I was a little worried up here with this card again, where, we might be unintentionally crushing other people's dreams, or unintentionally putting that pessimism on other people. But it seems peaceful, and it seems like people do not take it personally. People do not, we don't have any drama that is associated to that or whatnot. People are very understanding. People, it's not like this, so this feels temporary in that way, where it doesn't feel like it's destroying our relationships or anything like that, but it's still something to focus on and work on, obviously. So that's good. Romantic connections, we have choose peace, more peace. So what I can say, guys, this corner of peace here is that our relationships are definitely more peaceful. So what I was getting up here, here, and here work-wise, so the judge and the exchanging gift, that all might be work as well. So it's definitely heavily focused on passion, purpose, volunteer work, career, entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this week is definitely focused on that, and really trying to, all of these little things, being pessimistic, not feeling free, all of them are really adding up to, it might have something to do with money, finances, and career. Okay, and the fact that we have, we're doing a lot of reflecting on that area of our life, whereas our relationships seem peaceful, nothing too much going on. Peace is what we want to get. Peace, to me, how I read it, is like nothing's going on. And that's like a good thing, right? There's no drama. It's not a big highlight or focus of the week. It's everything is going well, harmonious, and chill. Okay, so that's really positive in that area. So it is definitely a week where, work stuff is coming up and is really kind of like the main energy that's kind of going on here. Okay, what's important? Take charge with authority. Okay, so it's important that you do take charge. It's important that you feel like you're the authority of your own life. So I don't consider this necessarily a power card. I call things here and there power cards. I don't necessarily anything so far. I would kind of consider that. This would probably be the closest. So this is Spirit basically saying it's important that you do take charge and realize that you are in control of creating your own reality. So you do have the power and the authority to change things that aren't working with all of this work stuff that's kind of going on. So if you're unhappy with something, you have the power to change it. If you feel it's unfair, you have the power to change it, okay? If you feel things, you don't feel free, you also have the power to change it, okay? So there's a lot of things here where we have the power to do so, and making a choice about it, okay? So this is what the Lord is, and it's saying you gotta, incorporate some of that masculine energy to kind of get things done. So I would say it's like setting you up for more empowerment, which again, we're in a universal year 8. So, we're going to get many, many more power cards. I'm not shocked. This is only the second week of January. So sometimes the energies come through strong, sometimes they don't, but we have all year to really, really step into our power even more as the weeks go on. So I'm not too worried about it, but it's good that this is showing up in important. Okay, and then we have health and wellness, we have engineer shadow, reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Okay, so this is really about focusing on more of the details versus how you feel. So because it's on health and wellness, this is basically Spirit just saying, don't forget to like tap into the emotional part of things. If you're on a physical journey, for example, don't forget to, work on the emotional side of things, see how you feel. It's just saying, don't forget to kind of tap into those softer parts of yourself, the spiritual aspect, the mental part, the emotional part, like that kind of thing. If you are on like more of a physical type journey, if you are on an emotional or a mental type journey, it's giving you and not necessarily giving you permission, but reminding you that it's okay to tap into that side of things. So you don't have to be so logical or this uses the word, what does it say? Mechanistic. Am I saying it right? like very just like very analytical, very basically the opposite of like creative expression, basically is what's kind of going on here. So you don't like, it's more about like healing in the masculine versus healing in the feminine, and basically it's saying you obviously need both at some points, but it feels like this week we're just like too in the masculine. It's about doing, looking at the if you're on a physical healing journey, like looking at your labs, and your labs are fine, but you don't feel great, right? And so it's kind of like that. It's like, don't overly focus on the labs. Don't overly focus on like the numbers. Like focus on how you actually feel and what makes you feel better doing that, okay? So just a little tidbit from us chronic illness people. So, yeah, okay, hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And then last but not least, we have overall outcome. We have regeneration. All right, I love this card because this reminds me, this is really saying building anew, but building back better. Okay, so it's just kind of like the way that I think of it is, and it's funny because I actually have nerve damage, and so my nerves need to rebuild, and my neurons need to rebuild, neuroplasticity. So it's basically like regenerating the nerves, they're growing back again, right? And so it's kind of like just regenerating, like something is just regenerating, and sometimes it comes back better, or just the same. And so the same or better, basically. So it coming in under the overall outcome just tells me that we're building ourselves back, to baseline, and even better, right? And so, because I know I keep saying it, just reminding you guys, because it's a great year, it's a great number. Universal year 8 is really about the manifestation, the abundance, the prosperity, the empowerment. Okay, so this is saying, you ever hear in manifesting, everybody teaches it differently, but I'm sure you've heard this before, where people say, ask for what you want or something better, and add or something better, right? And so it's kind of like this. It's like you can get what you want, or spirit will give you something better. Just be open in that way, right? And so it kind of just feels like that. It's like if you go back to like if I go back to normal health, I'll be super ecstatic. But if I feel better than I've felt in 10 years, in 20 years, then that's even better. You know what I mean? So it's really about like keeping the faith in that way and trusting, right? That things are definitely building themselves back to baseline or something better. So I think that's such a beautiful, it's kind of like the artwork is a little scary, but it's like a beautiful message, right? It's kind of like in the tarot with the tower card, which is basically like everything collapsing. It's like basically a spiritual awakening, right? Everything kind of, bringing you to your knees, but you always build back better, right? Peaks and valleys. So, okay, I've talked enough. Guys, I talked pretty fast too, because I don't want these to be so long. I know you guys take the time to really, watch these videos to the end, and you want to get all of the energies and soak up all of the information. So I really, really appreciate you. I'm also a New Yorker, so I talk fast. So, and I want to make sure you really do get all the information that you need. So, all right, guys, it looks like a pretty good week. There's some peaks and valleys, like I said, and nothing that we can't get through. So keep going out there. You guys got this. Regeneration is a nice card to end off with. And have a good week, guys. And I will see you next week. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.